Good morning. Here's something I bet you didn't know. I had an epiphany last night, and it had to do with the war in our head. Yes, exactly. The war in our head individually. Now, the world in one head is a war in another head, and like a domino effect, it's all over the world. And I think science would call it a neural bounce, but it's more than that. If I said there were two words, one of them being worth and the other being of value, and with all the mechanized, tooled brains, i.e. education, abstracts, and higher education, and if we consider the worth of those, their worth, how would it be? What would the worth be? Would it be on a tangible level? Would it be on a psychological level? In other words, how they're going to serve the systemic order, which is actually a disorder, or they're going to serve the human species. So what does it boil down to? What is the value of the human species? There's a good one. What do you think the value of the human species is? What, 10 cents on a dollar? I bet it is. And why do we say this? If science already says that the human species uses less than 10% of its brain, 10% of its brain, that we're talking about the body-brain continuum in the sixth sense. In other words, the entire continuity of what the brain is and does and is supposed to do. But it can't because it's stuck. It's stuck in a neural stopgap. What is a neural stopgap? That's the 10% of the human species that's 10 cents on a dollar. Now, is the value of the human species more than the economic divisiveness that's placed on it? I.e. all the symbols that live in, for, and because of their symbols' occupation. Now, what is a symbol's occupation? That's pretty much working for the government because it's a corporation. We already know the Constitution's a corporation. We already know it's a piece of paper, and we all get our little piece of paper and we're paid to, well, lie, cheat, and steal, basically, right? Don't we do or don't? No, we don't. I bet we do, because when you look at all the academics that support WAR, what is that? If we don't support MAD, we probably wouldn't support war, would we? Now, would we be an intelligent creature to realize this and stop doing what we're doing? I bet it would be something like that, wouldn't it? So what am I getting at here? I'm looking at the clock here. We're at the 4-minute mark. Value of the human species, which I protect and I will protect, versus the psychological worth of all the encumbrances placed on that human creature to make sure that it's devalued to 10 cents on a dollar. Now, we're talking minimum wage here. That's a joke. In fact, we actually have the minimum wage to make sure that people's value are less than 10 cents on a dollar. They work all their life for what? To die poor? Is that what we're meant to do? Come on, people. Is that what we're meant to do? This talk is going to hit hard because the self-realization that goes with being worth more than 10 cents means that you have to stand up to your innate human rights. Constitutional rights are leaving us fast. It's just a paper chase. It's slime on slime. We already know this. When a nice person can come up and say we can do what we want, and cops say we can do what we want, we're in some serious shit, people. So, what is the power invested in? What is our power, or our intelligence, which is another source of power in a very unique way because it's power in number. How about this? We have a universal parallel of consciousness called the value of the human species. And we run with that. No more laws. If Jesus was said to that in the Gospel of Thomas, the non-canonical Gospels, if that was said, makes sense. What is no more laws? You make up no more rules to be occupied by symbols. That's really all it is. More jobs for more symbols, for more power, for more human degradation. You want that explained in detail? I'll give you detail, 300 questions minimum. Yeah, I want to see who's going to answer this. Really, I want to see who's going to answer this. You, the people, already know the answer because your feeling direct knowing is going to tell you. We're a sad case of wake up. Spell, we're in a spell? Yeah, we're in a spell. It's an iconic deadlock. It's in our DNA. We recycle the same shit over and over and over. Yeah, I think Nietzsche said that. Also, Kant did. Continuation. Well, Nietzsche did, actually. Continuation of the same. But the same what? Worship of idols, symbols. The man called the Christ was right on, spot on. Yep, hate to say it, he was. And no, he was not about religion. Don't go into this tirade like, oh my God, he died for our sins. No, they killed him because of them. They were becoming symbols converts. You ever watch a football game? I don't watch the football game for the football. I watch the crowd. Hundreds of thousands of people yelling and screaming. Really. This is the mentality. This is the human slavery that wants to be entertained. It's like a Roman game. I think people realize this too. So anyway, 8-minute mark, we have to cut to the chase. My epiphany was this. The human element, if it was to have a conversation, it would not be adversarial. It would be to intellectually prime each human species for its best, how should I say, representing the social content. Now, what is behavioral conditioning? That's empowered, psychological, brainwashing. Science knows this. That's why they innervate the brain to make sure they can pick out every part that's essential to a non-functioning brain. They want a perfect rat soldier. They've always wanted this. There's no war machine in the world that didn't experiment on people. Are you familiar with those? That was the beginning of psychology and the brain butchers, right? Who want what? They want the power. That's power. That they're paid for that. They're backed by that. Is anybody getting this? Okay, 10-minute mark. We value our symbols more than we value the human species. Yep, take that with you. That's going to be the leaving statement. We value our petty symbols and our trinkets given to those people who value those symbols and use it against the human populace with guns and power. Yeah, that's it. More on this later. Whole nother subject coming. Very similar. You aren't going to like it. It's what legalism is all about. Legalism is terrorism. Why did Jesus say make no more laws? Terrorism. Power. Think so? Challenge me, please. Challenge me. We need laws for what? What are they doing for us now? They're going to kill us. Look around you. People are insane. What do you think? Really? Underneath it all. Passive insanity, but it's going to be real act, react, push button insanity coming. Enough. We're over 10 minutes. Thank you.